Do people usually turn to you for help and advice? Do you tend to think of others more than you think about yourself? Will you drop everything the moment that somebody needs you? If there's a part of you that thinks that it's selfish to put your own needs before others, then maybe this video is for you. Hi, I'm Vassia. I'm a psychologist, and I'm here in order to explore the psychological landscapes of relationships and mental health. Today, we're going to talk about self sacrifice and people pleasing, and especially through the lens of schema therapy. I'm going to introduce you to the world of schema therapy a little bit. Let me tell you the agenda for today. We are going to say first to explore what's the difference between people pleasing and self sacrifice. Of course, there's some similarities, but also some differences. Then we are going to see some 5 common behaviors of people who engage in self sacrifice. We're going to see where this stems from. And also, we're going to talk about 3 ways that someone can overcome or lower a little bit this overgiving and overextending of themselves. So let me start with the differences. When we're talking about people pleasing, we are talking about the fact that the behavior that we are going to great lengths in order to make other people happy. And sometimes we even say yes, even though we want to say no, or we express a positive opinion, even though we have a different opinion about a specific topic, and we don't say that we don't like something, and we just put it aside and we pretend it's fine, right? Even though there's a lot of people pleasing and self-sacrifice, it's a little bit different because self-sacrifice comes also together with a strong sense of duty and responsibility. I have to put myself aside. I have to sacrifice my dreams, my life for somebody else. It comes together with a duty. Another difference is also that it's not only about sacrificing your views and saying that you like something or you believe in something even though you don't. It's also about showing that in actions, you're sacrificing your career, for example, or you're putting a whole big part of your life aside and you're hiding it, or you're sacrificing relationships or friendships because you are afraid that another relationship will be damaged because of that. So we're talking about a different extent of giving yourself and parts of your life and your needs for somebody else, and that of course creates an even bigger internal conflict in comparison to people pleasing. We're talking about a big discrepancy between your actions and your own needs. Eventually, it will lead to burnout or resentment. This is where you feel that you're being treated unfairly. You're giving so much, but you're not taking anything back, not even appreciated, not even recognized. So this is where we start building up anger. This is where we feel the anger, but at the same time, because of the self-sacrifice / people pleasing mode, we suppress the anger. So this is a constant conflict. I feel resentment, but then I have to hide it because we don't say to other people that they did something wrong. We don't complain. We have to keep the facade of being pleasing to others all the time. Another behavior is ignoring your own needs. You tend to even forget your own needs. I've been with people in the past, I've worked with people that when I ask them, what do you really need? They don't know. They have to really think about it and come with what's happening inside them and what they really want and what they really need. And that's the third behavior that I want to share with you. They have difficulty expressing feelings and needs. Just because I haven't practiced enough in meeting myself, in connecting with myself and my needs, I don't know how to express it. I don't know how to say it. Plus, guilt. I feel guilty when I am saying, I need that from you. I feel guilty when I am asking space and time from you. I feel scared that maybe I will upset the other person. I will disappoint the other person. I will be a burden to the other person. Also, in people that they are in this self-sacrifice schema, what happens also is that they are seeking external validation. You've heard these people saying, oh, I've devoted all my life for you, or I sacrificed this for you, or so I paid all this money for you for nothing. So they tend to remind you what they have done for you. And in some cases, the person who's listening to that, they feel that this is unfair because nobody asked you to sacrifice your career. Nobody asked you to leave your hobbies behind just because you had the children, or because you had other responsibilities. And especially if this "look what I've done for you" is addressed to a child that definitely they didn't ask their parents to do these sacrifices, you see how this creates these imbalanced relationships and the circulation of guilt from one person to the other. And that, of course, comes together with avoiding conflict. So you might say, okay, this person is asking for recognition and validation, but at the same time, they're avoiding conflict. Yes, this is the circulation that we said before. Look what I've done for you, but then I feel guilty that I said that to you. And then I'm avoiding the conflict. I'm giving even more. I am sacrificing even more. This is a loop. This is a loop that never stops. And then just because I made you feel bad because I reminded you of my sacrifices, now I'm going to go to great lengths in order to compensate for that. Now let's move to the next section. What are some reasons behind self-sacrifice? It all starts, of course, from childhood, when we learned that other people are more important. And I can give you 1,000 reasons for that. It can be because there was a parent that was struggling mentally, financially, physically, and then we believe that we have to care for them more than what they care for us. So this is when we adopt the role of the carer. We are the carer. We have to be caring about for other people all our lives. When we don't have this role, when we even imagine ourselves without being in this role, we kind of feel useless. And that's one of the strongest reasons why we tend to do that and be in this loop forever, because we have attached the caring feature of our personality with our self-worth. If I'm not caring, if I'm not putting my needs aside, who am I? Why would people want to be with me? So that comes the second reason, the fear of rejection. If I stop caring, we believe that if I stop being a people pleaser, I'm going to stop caring, but that's not the case. If I stop sacrificing, if I'm not a people pleaser, what if people leave me? What if people don't like me anymore, reject me, abandon me? And of course, a third reason can be the need for control, in other words, safety. We feel that we have a good sense of stability and control over our relationships if we keep giving and caring for them. This is how we believe that we keep people around us. So it's our fear of being alone, feeling lonely at the end of the day, right? So how can we stop these self-sacrificing patterns? First of all, working with our self-worth and challenging the negative beliefs, self-worth beliefs. When we identify this belief that says, if I'm not caring and putting my needs aside, I am useless. If we don't recognize this belief, we cannot change it. We cannot change self-sacrifice. So we have to pick that up. We have to understand that we think about ourselves in this specific way in order to build a stronger sense of self-worth, in order to have a more concrete idea about who we are in our relationships. I can say no and still I am going to be loved. I can say no and still I am going to be included in this group of people, in this family, in this relationship. That's the change that we want to implement. The second thing that we need to do is set boundaries. And there's a course in my academy, setting boundaries and bringing the change in your life that you want, and bringing and creating equal relationships. There's a course in there that you can learn all the steps, 6 internal steps and 6 external steps on how to learn boundaries in a deep and sustainable way. And I divided them into internal and external because if you only try to set boundaries externally, it's not going to happen. Sooner or later, you will take it back because guilt is stronger if you do it only externally. You have to set the boundaries in an internal way first. So we have to learn how to set boundaries. And last but not least, we have to learn to practice self-compassion, to encourage ourselves, to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding. Why am I treating everybody with love and compassion and kindness, but not myself? Wait a minute, let me change that. It's a constant reminder in the beginning for somebody who's stepping out of this self-sacrificing slash people-pleasing pattern. It's a constant reminder that my needs as are as important as other people's, as anyone else's. It's okay if I take my time in order to refill my energy, in order to just rest. I don't need to be busy in order to say no. I can say no even though I don't have anything else to do, but be with myself. That's incredible. That's the most important relationship in my life, the relationship with myself. So practicing self-compassion. If you also have some gaps in your knowledge on how to practice self-compassion, you know where to find the answer. It's in the academy. I have a course, how to practice more self-love and self-compassion, and it's a 30-day journey with you where every day I'm sharing a tip with you on what to do and practice self-love and self-compassion. It's incredible. It's easy, but also quite transformational. Can you relate with what we said today, with these self-sacrificing behaviors? Have you heard that before? Do you recognize it in yourself? Share it with us in the comments. Share also if you have any other question. And also, I want to finish this video with the question: how would your life change if your sense of self-worth was not solely dependent on external validation and what other people think of you and all the things you need to sacrifice for them? How would your life be different? How would your self-worth be different? Think about it. Let me know. And don't forget, if you want anything else, any other resources, book recommendations, information about the courses, blog articles, you know where to find them, untilloneliness.com. Thank you very much for being here. Take good care of yourself.